last month in March, so around March 17, around mid-March that day anyway, Paris raised the retirement age from 62 to 64 years old, which actually caused a massive outcry from the population and sparked protests where we were seeing hundreds of thousands of people flooding the streets due to the whole change in retirement age in Paris. And the French population were incredibly furious with it. They still are, like, really angry with what's happened. And for the last 4 or 5 weeks, they've been rioting and burning down infrastructure, including the favorite cafe of the Prime Minister. So it doesn't seem to be slowing down either. And who knows where this will lead to. But what do you think will be the outcome of this situation? Do you think the law will get changed back, or will it just get worse?
I don't think that they can change the law back because France doesn't have the money. And this is the problem. If you have a look at that, the retirement age, so the retirement age in France has actually gone from 60 to 62, now 62 to 64, right? In Greece, they moved it from 63 to 65. In Italy, it went from 64 to 65. In Spain, it went from 60 to 62. So all over Europe, the pension ages are increasing, and that's purely because the lie of the 50s and 60s: work hard, pay your taxes, and then get a pension for life that, for the rest of your life from retirement age that you can live on, is fantasy now. It might as well be a unicorn fart because it doesn't exist. And this leads to the question Christine brought up, that pensions won't be around. When I'm looking to retire, pensions won't be around. They won't be able to afford it. Or it'll be, you got to be 96 before you get a pension. Well, I'll be dead by then. So this is only going to get worse. But that's the entitlement mentality that's still driven into a lot of Europeans. I think it's France has a 35-hour work week, right? It's fucking stupid, right? No wonder their productivity is next to nil, right? And unions in Germany, by the way, in a lot of the car plants and that, they're actually saying, oh, maybe the workers need to work 44, 45 hours a week, not 40. Right? They're actually starting to go the other way because they're starting to go, well, hang on a minute, if the Chinese and the Indians and the Russians and the Polish take over the car manufacturing industry, we won't have one, right? So a lot of the unions are starting to wake up going, self-preservation here. We need to start reversing some of these rules. So in France, so the pension issue in France is the farmer issue that the Dutch are facing. The Greeks are the Greekonomic. So all these European countries have their one issue that is going to be a boiling point, right? We're now starting to see the retirement age in France is the boiling point, with a few farmers. The Dutch have their farmers. What was it in Brussels? Brussels was cost of living, because the basics that they have normally, because it's a higher place thing, but it stuff's going up, so they're starting to get upset. Spain was the conditions around, there was more employment conditions. So every country in Europe is going to have their own flare up that'll create more crisis, and it's not going to get any better. Won't matter which side's in power. Both sides will look at it and go, holy fuck. And one thing you got to remember with Europe is a centre right or a right party. What we would call a right party is really where the Greens and Labor are in this country, right? So Labor in most European countries would be called a far right party. So that's how far Europe is down the socialist journey. So,
can you see any of that being brought to Australia? I think you kind of touched on it before, but where even maybe the Australian government won't be able to pay pensions?
Oh, 100%. It's going to happen in the Western world all over, because it's government spending and government regulation that's causing the problem. bleeding the death and the trust in government and all that sort of stuff. It's like all the shortages that are happening, housing, food, electricity, everything's government designed. Every problem that is happening now is all the design of the government. And politicians can't see it because politicians are fucking dumb. Right? They talk, but, you know, nothing ever gets done. And
So-
nothing can.
So really your best option is to fund your own retirement.
Pretty much. Yeah, I'd be looking to be funding your own retirement. I'd be looking to be self-sufficient in you know, parts of your life where you can be, and make your dollars go the best. You know, have them in real productive assets and real productive environments where you're getting paid, you know, to getting paid a decent return on that.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.